Hey, this is Will. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you what are the pros of being a digital nomad. If you're considering to be a digital nomad, you will find out all of the good things. Why I personally have been a digital nomad for, I don't even know, if quite a few years now. I will leave, by the way, all of the useful links, everything. Also, if I forget some stuff, I will leave everything in the description, so definitely check it out. Also, I am starting digital nomad community, so check out, there's going to be a link below for that. And in general, if you are interested in digital marketing, productivity, all of those kind of good things, then make sure to check out some of my other content. Now, let's get into it. Oh no, wait, before we get into it, almost forgot, I am also going to have another episode that is going to be all of the cons of being digital nomad, because honestly, I see it so often that people just talk about good things, and there's definitely so many good things, but there are definitely some cons as well. So after you listen to this or watch this, make sure to check that episode out as well. All right, so the first pro of being a digital nomad, and this one I think is the biggest one for me. This is why I started doing this. It's having the ability to see so many different places and to experience so many different cultures, because as a digital nomad, literally you are location independent. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to live in one place. And that aspect, I feel like sometimes it's a little bit hard to explain, because it is very different if, let's say, you travel. Well, I hope so. I hope we all have been on a holiday before. And when you go on holiday to a place and when you go as a digital nomad, those, at least for me, those are two completely different things. And it depends what kind of digital nomad lifestyle exactly you choose, because there are some people that basically just change new destination every single week. So that is sort of like a holiday type of experience. But what other people do and what I like to do is to stay a little bit longer at every single place that I go to. And honestly, it is completely different, because when you come as a tourist, you just go to the tourist destinations. Usually you just do the touristy things, the sightseeing, all of that, and you don't really see local life. Or even if you see some of the local life, you don't really get enough time to understand. You don't really understand how normal things work, and you don't really have the ability to figure out some of the basic things of, let's say, if you come as a tourist, you might never use public transportation. You might never understand how those things work. You might never look for an apartment and understand how apartments look. You might never go to a local market and understand how the local markets work. You might, very importantly, never meet local people and make local friends as a tourist. But as a digital nomad, you're going to do all of those things. You are going to somewhat live as a local in a destination. And that is what I want to emphasize, that for me personally, again, and I think this is for a lot of people, it's going to be very different of just being a tourist and being a digital nomad, because you get a very, very different experience from a place, and you can really have the time to embrace that culture. That's why usually I suggest, when you're going to do this lifestyle, do at least 1 month in one destination. If you want, you can even do more depending on destination. Sometimes 1 month is not going to be enough. Sometimes you need to spend definitely more time than that. Another pro that is very important as well is costs. And I feel that some people even have this maybe as their main priority, because honestly, let's be honest out here. it's much easier when you need to spend less money for all of the different things, and you can afford better things for the money that you make. Your dollar or whatever currency you earn is going to go a longer way. So that's definitely one huge benefit. How much money you're spending, let's say if you live in Europe or North America, United States, Canada, whatever, how much money you're spending there and how much money you are going to spend depending on which digital nomad location you're going to go can be drastically different. You might be spending, let's say, $5,000 a month, and then to get that same type of quality of life, if you go to, let's say, Southeast Asia, you might only spend $1,000 a month. So it is really a massive difference. Kind of on top of that, it really depends on where exactly you are in your life, where in digital nomad journey you are, how much money you are making and all of that. But in general, I would say, if let's say you are, especially if you're just starting out and you're not making a ton of money, a lot of things in Western world are very expensive compared to, let's say, Southeast Asia or South America or other parts of the world. So for example, when, let's say, it comes to cleaning in a lot of, let's say, Western countries, not that many people are going to hire cleaners because it might be a little bit too expensive out of their budget. But if you go to, let's say, Southeast Asia, it is insanely cheap. So it really doesn't make sense for you to do your own cleaning or anything like that. Same goes when, let's say, we're talking about food. It's so cheap to eat out. If, let's say, you're in Southeast Asia or even South America, in all of these different places, sometimes you can get, let's say, one of those street meals, you can get it for as little as $1, $2. A nice meal you can get for as little as $5, maybe $10. Very cheap. Whereas, let's say, in Western world, if you want to get same quality of food, instead of, let's say, maybe $10, now you're going to be spending $100. And perhaps that is going to be out of your budget to be doing that constantly. And all of that takes time when you really think about it. Cooking, cleaning, all of those things, maintenance, transportation, again, taxis, all of those things are way cheaper. So all of these things, you also have to think about, depending again on your budget. If you can't really afford a lot of those things where you live right now, or you can't afford them constantly, then that is going to actually save you up a lot of time when you move to a country where all of those things are much cheaper and you're always getting food done for you, you're getting your cleaning done for you, you're getting your driving everywhere, let's say with taxis. All of those things are done for you. You have way more time on your hands to concentrate on your business. Another major thing, at least for me, and I don't hear people talking about this as often, it's climate. Choosing your own climate where you want to live. For me, this is major because I hate cold weather, or well, at least the really cold weather, and I've spent some years living in very cold climates. So for the past few years, I have not experienced winter. I don't own any winter clothes. I've only been living in hot or very warm climates, and honestly, that has made me so much happier. That just motivates me all the time. Instead of, I remember being even in England when I was a student, and just the constant cold, the constant rain, it's always being this moody weather, makes you kind of moody as well and doesn't really motivate you to do things. But when I'm somewhere where the sun is shining and the weather is warm, I just can't not be happy about it. And this all depends on you, where exactly you want to go. But basically, you can find the places that are the perfect climate for you, and you can always move. So this is one of the things as well, what I often do. I actually structure my travels based on different climates. So when I go to certain place, let's say the rainy season, I know the rainy season is coming to a place where I am. So during that rainy season, I'm going to go to a different place. And then when the rainy season starts there, I will go to a different place. And then there, the summer is almost ending. Then I'm going to go somewhere else, so on and so forth. Next is meeting new people, meeting a lot of new people and very interesting people. Usually when you are digital nomad, again, it depends where exactly you go and all of those kind of things. But in general, I would say it is honestly very, very easy to meet people. So sometimes if you're at some place where there aren't that many foreigners, sometimes you just see another foreigner, let's say just at a gym or on the street or whatever, and you just start talking because they're also a foreigner and you kind of just feel this connection. And usually everyone's super chill, and I made so many random friends from just starting to talk out of nowhere because we are just two foreigners and that is it. And also usually if you join some co-working spaces, if you go to some events, you're going to be able to meet a lot of people. And this is one of the tips, that you want to choose a good destination to go to have this process a lot easier, where there are a lot of other digital nomads. But in general, when you're going to meet other digital nomads, they are sort of in the same situation as you, where they maybe just came to the place, maybe they don't quite have the friends yet. So they have the same agenda to find friends. So both of you are on the same page, and it's very, very easy to create these friendships. And also most of the time, you might have same type of interest, because most of the people, they work online. Sometimes it might be even related work, and a lot of those people, they are digital nomads because they love traveling, they love experiencing new cultures and all of those kind of things. And probably you do too. That's why you're also a digital nomad, so you can share all of these experiences. And most of the people, they have so many different experiences, and you really meet very interesting people. And that is, I would say, a very huge plus. There is a little bit of a downside on that as well, because you are constantly moving. So obviously those friendships, people come and go. So it's hard to have these long-term friendships. But this is another section. Watch the episode on the cons of being a digital nomad. Another thing that, again, I don't think I hear too many people talking about, but for me, this is a major thing. There's no monotony when you are a digital nomad, or well, there is very little compared to, let's say, if you just have regular life. And for me, that's huge, especially maybe having a little bit of ADD and whatnot. I just love that I constantly have new experiences. And whenever, you come to a new place, everything is new. Even though the things aren't that crazy new, they're slightly different. And you're constantly discovering new things, having new experiences, meeting new people, having different food and all of that and all of that. And all of those little things in life, they just make living so much more enjoyable. So I don't even know how to explain this. And it might not seem a lot. Let's say you come from one city to another city and you're living in this different country, and major aspects of your life might be sort of the same, but there are all of these little things that just make it a little bit more interesting. So for me, I would say it's a major thing that just your day-to-day life is going to be constantly interesting. It's not going to be that you just have the same routine and all of the things you already know, you've already done them hundreds, thousands of times, and everything is already so mundane and so boring to you. You've been doing this for past 10 years. Here, everything is constantly new and constantly exciting. Another thing that not everyone might think about right away, but when you're a digital nomad, one of the great things as well is you can follow your hobbies. So what I mean by this is you can go to destinations that will allow you to do certain things that you really enjoy. So for example, for me, I used to skateboard, I've done snowboarding, and I really wanted to surf, but I never, growing up and being at university, I never really had the opportunity. I was never at the places where you can surf. So when I had the opportunity, I just went for it, and I actually just fell in love with surfing. So now when I look at the places where I'm going, I always check whether I can surf there, and I kind of even somewhat manage my plans where I'm going based on whether I can surf there or not. So I've taken some break, and now I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's time to come back to Bali because I do want to surf for at least a couple of months. And it all depends. Let's say you like scuba diving, so you can find some places where scuba diving is absolutely amazing. You love hiking, let's say, you can find places where they have amazing hiking, so on and so forth. So you can find the perfect place for your hobbies. And another thing I want to also mention as a pro of being a digital nomad, and this is also a pro/con, I would say, but you really sort of have to become a minimalist when you are a digital nomad, because you are living just from basically your luggage, however much you have, and usually it's going to be maybe 125 kilos, 55 pounds, or whatever it is. And that's all of the things that you own. And for me, that has been all of the things that I own for quite a few years now. Sometimes if you do settle at one place for a little bit longer, you might buy some additional things and all of that, but you have very, very few things. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes it is annoying, but at the same time, it is kind of freeing. So I remember being in this one place. I was living in South Korea, and I spent a couple of years there, and I bought a bunch of things. I even bought furniture and all of that kind of stuff. And then I decided to buy one-way ticket to go to Bali, and I literally just threw out all of my stuff, or well, gave it away. And it was kind of freeing, honestly, getting rid of everything and just putting everything in one little luggage and just leaving with that. And now whenever I go somewhere, it takes me, I really don't care about packing now. I literally take my stuff and just throw it into my luggage. So it takes me maybe 20 minutes to pack all of my belongings, and I can go to live in a new country. So I hope you found this useful. I basically just mentioned some of the things off the cuff that came to my mind that I found really enjoying and really good about this whole digital nomad life experience, whatever you want to call it. I might have missed out of some of the things because I don't really plan out these episodes. So do let me know if you have any questions. If you're listening to this as a podcast, take the title, put the title on YouTube, find the video, and leave a comment below with your questions. I'll try to answer as many of those as I can. As I said, I'm going to put a bunch of really useful links in the description, so make sure to check out all of those links, all of the resources. Also, check out some of my other content if you're interested in digital marketing, in productivity, and all of those good things. If you find this useful, make sure to smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, put on those notifications. Stay awesome, and I'll see you soon.